Didn't know.
Jack.
Cameras ready?
This was a great team win. For me, you know, we had some great individual performances, but I just thought the collective effort of the guys from start to finish was consistent. And, you know, we talked about maturing and, you know, growing within games. And, you know, last Saturday we were in the same situation. Yeah, we were at home, but we still handled business. And so I was really proud of that effort. We had 14 offensive rebounds. But the biggest stat for me is 6 turnovers against a team that, you know, really gets after it defensively. So I'm proud of the fellas because, to me, from a maturity standpoint, they showed me where we can go. Because this was a game playing at home. Right now, the way we've been playing, we were supposed to win this game. That's what you say, but how we've played and how we've responded, you know, after winning big games, you know, it hasn't always been there. But, you know, the effort, the energy, the connectivity, and the sense of urgency from jump was there.
Okay, questions?
Naturally, you look at the stats and you see what Vi did, you see what Duncan did, of course, Nate with the 12 assists, but it seemed like when the game started out, Middlebrooks was taking over, Suarez got in foul trouble, putting in Mustaf, that really seemed like that settled the game down. You really did a good job to play defense.
Well, yeah, the game, it's funny because the game played out the way I was going to do some things early anyway in terms of the rotation and try to but I was going to try to take Duncan out a little earlier, put Mustaf in. But with Suarez picking up the fouls, you know, you had to play by longer. And, you know, I really didn't want to do that to play him the whole first half. You know, that's why I took him out real fast in the second half. But, you know, Jaden did a great job. He gave us another ball handler, gave us another downhill driver. And he was big. He was big in that in that first half, especially because up until probably, you know, the last time out, last 4 minutes, you know, Nate, you know, he took a little bit for him to get into it, but obviously that last 4 minutes of the first half, he started really passing the ball, and that's what I felt started to open things up. But that was really big, getting Jaden up in there, and we were able to size down a little bit. You put Duncan at the 4, now it makes things a little different. And, you know, fortunately for us, and we've been double teaming a lot of bigs, you know, this second half of the season, ever since Christmas. But Middlebrooks did have his moments, but we were able to sustain him, and, you know, we made him work on the other end. So
with Bai, this seems like these last 10 games or so, you're finally seeing kind of him pick up from where maybe he left off last year in terms of just his production and being just the high energy guy on the glass and the team feeding off of that. Just, do you feel like it just took him a while maybe this year to get it going, or anything you put your finger on why it's kind of clicked now?
No, I think he had to go back to work. You know, it's just everything about Bai looks better. You know, his energy, you know, his body, you know what I mean? You know, it's just, you know, it's like it's young players as well, you know, but you have to, like, come back and, you know, work on your game because you go to the top of the scouting report. And so I think that, you know, Bai is a guy people forget. You know, he didn't even start on his high school team, you know, so the success he had last year was all new. And give him a lot of credit, you know, for that, because he asks a lot about leading. He asks a lot about what to do because he don't know. And a lot of kids don't really ask those questions. And so I think that he looked himself in the mirror, and I think that's why he got better. There's nothing that we as coaches haven't been telling him from jump, but he's putting in the work, you know. So it's the extra work he's been putting in, the extra rest he's been getting, and I think that's what we're seeing in his resurgence, you know what I mean? So happy for him, proud of him, and he can get better.
Nate only had 2 points today, but 12 assists. How big is it for your team to have somebody who can do a lot of things even when he's not scoring the ball and help his teammates out?
It's big, and I've always told Nate, to me, you don't have to score for this team to be successful. If you look back, even putting him in the starting lineup last year, some of our biggest wins, he didn't really score a lot neither, but he's a connector. He's a guy that gets the ball to the right people, and you can look at our stat sheet and tell what he means to it by looking at the other guy's numbers. And so I'm not necessarily worried about him in terms of his scoring, but we obviously need that scoring. But those 12 assists were really big, and I thought that, like I said, towards the end of the first half, he really started connecting and got guys open, and I think he went in at halftime and had 8.
Duncan's style of play continue to step up again. If he has his mind made up, he's going to do something. He does it, and they just had no answer for what he was trying to do out there.
No, Duncan was really good. He, it's funny with Duncan. Yesterday, we practiced. I really get on him. I get on him a lot because it's almost like you gotta let Duncan have his moments, then you gotta snap him back into it. You know what I mean? But the thing about him is it's not a fluke. What he's doing. I think that there's been enough consistent play, moving forward that, he's a guy that we rely on, and he's, for me, he's just getting better and better, and I thought that today he went back to getting the glass. That was the biggest thing. We talked about it, and, he had been settling for threes and not really going to glass and doing different things, but he had 10 rebounds a day, 5 offensive. So, Duncan is, and I've been saying it all along, he's a mismatch problem because he's a 3, but he's strong like a 4, so he overpowers, I think, the smaller guy. He can post up and do different things. And so he's been a bonus. It's been a bonus having him, and, happy we got him.
You talked about Lance needing to just kind of let it fly, and he started slow and then got it going and kind of helped you guys at the end of the first half there with the 2 big threes.
Yep.
Just kind of, it seems like he kind of can give you those sparks. Just what have you seen from him in terms of getting back to being normal?
Yeah, I thought he played huge, in the last 4 minutes of the first half. He did some really good things. I think Lance is a guy, he plays so hard. I wish I could get him more of a blow, and I think he's finding his rhythm. 15 points on 15 shots, that don't even really bother me. I'm not really concerned about that. Matter of fact, I got mad at him one time because he passed up an open shot to go run inside. You got to keep shooting open shots. We need Lance to be really good for us to be successful. When we're playing well, he's normally playing well, and I'm happy for him. And we need him to keep coming. We need more. We need more of these type of performances. We need him to stay consistent. And I know, he's had some injuries and things of that nature, but we just need him to be consistent because he's big. He's a big part of the things we do.
Randy?
Since the loss of Florida State, you've held 5 ACC teams under 40% from the field. What has it been focus? Has it been anything with scheme, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's been a little bit of both, but one thing that I decided to do about that time, and Florida State to me is a tough team to play against because of their style of play. I just said we wasn't gonna play on our heels no more defensively. And so that's why you see us trapping the post and doing different things. And, it's just I think the guys bought into that. And what happens defensively, is that once you start getting stops, it gets contagious. And so they start buying into what you're saying a little bit. Well, okay, Coach was right. We get some stops, then we can get out and we can run and do the different things. Because if you look at the games, just take last Saturday, for instance, BC, we could never get going defensively. And our energy on offense wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? So we have got after. We've made an emphasis. And I think guys have responded. I'll use Nate as an example. I didn't think Nate was a good defender at all, but he's been doing a great job over the course of the last month and a half. Challenge him, stand between his man and the ball, doing great things. So I'm proud of our defense because it's allowing us to do different things, but more importantly, it's bleeding into our offense, and so we're better on the offensive end because of our defense.
One thing you notice about Bai, when he gets a rebound or blocks a shot, he always seems to have the knack of being that first guy down the court, and that's been leading to a lot of easy buckets for you guys.
Yeah, well, he wasn't the first one down the court earlier in the year, so I mean, he's gotten in better shape. I think again that it's a testament to him, and he's continued to work. He's rebounding, he's running the floor, he's blocking shots, then he runs the floor. He had a couple big-time dunks tonight on a couple passes where, they probably didn't think he was going to catch it or throw it. And then the rebound putback he got in the second half right in front of our bench, those were big-time plays. And so, again, his energy, his effort when he's running, jumping, things you just talked about, I know he's in for a good night. I never worry about him in the score column. I always worry about his energy and effort and what that looks like.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.